What is going on, guys? I'm Wastegates, and today the Escalade's gone and we're back here with the R8. Also, it's daytime instead of midnight while we're shooting, so we have lots of light for you guys. Check it out. You can see what's left of the turbo kit in all of its glory right here. Today, the rest of the turbo kit is coming off. Let's get to work. So Zach and I just went through and labeled almost every line. We made some flags with some automotive masking tape there. Hopefully that holds up. I'll try not to get it too dirty so we can easily read them. And our goal here is to get the air to water intercooler off. It looks beautiful, and honestly it's probably one of the easiest things to take off, I think. It looks like there's about 4 bolts, the 2 water supply and return hoses, and then the intake couplers. We'll get those loose, slide them off, should be good. And then we're gonna unbolt the rest of the exhaust here, get the wastegate out, get the rest of the exhaust off. And here's something you guys need to see. I don't know how well this is gonna show up on camera, but if you're wondering where the oil is coming from, look down inside this wastegate right here. It's really tough to see, but you can see there's an entire lake of oil sitting inside that wastegate. And over here in this exhaust, same thing. There, wow. It is a complete lake. Yeah, right here. Maybe that'll work right there. Okay, so you can see that. And then if we come over here to the exhaust, it's been off the car for 3 days now, right? Because I've been working on other projects, had a Volvo S60R for a minute, had that Escalade for a day. I've sold all those since then. That S60R was awesome. Maybe we'll drop some videos on it. But look at the exhaust. This thing has been sitting here dumping oil out of this muffler canister there for 3 days, and I cleaned it and I cleaned it, and then eventually we went and bought these absorbent mats just so we'd have something to do with all the oil that keeps coming out of it. That's how much oil was drawn through this thing. It's a ton, but hey, fasteners are coming apart really well. It's nice when everything's oiled down. Also, Doff was commenting about how my garage floor was ruined. Don't worry, I cleaned the whole floor up except for where the coolant's dumping out of these coolant lines here. So it looks pretty clean to me. All right, for the fun part, we're gonna get this air to water intercooler off. We're just gonna try to remove this one, which looks like there are no issues in removing. Back that clamp way off for good measure. Back this one way off, also for good measure. So now we're gonna break these lines loose. I don't know how much coolant's gonna be in them, but I'm hoping not too much so we don't make a gigantic mess. All right, one is broken. Time for number 2. Trying to be really careful with these fittings so I don't mar them, but you can tell they've already had a little wear on them. There we go.
You want a pad to put them in?
Let's do that for fun.
Crazy how watery that stuff is.
Yeah, this is just water, wetter, and water from what I can tell. So, back that off. Ooh, and there's tons.
Yeah, that didn't do much.
It'll absorb like a gallon, I think. So that's actually quite a bit. We can raise these up and try to mitigate the water spillage. Okay, we'll lift this one up too. Actually, I think we might have shoved a bunch of coolant back into the intercooler too when we lifted up the other line.
That's true.
But now, we are good. Not even tight. See that?
Oh wow.
Not remotely tight. It's not even attached to anything. Is that one?
Yeah, that one's on.
Maybe there's like a backing nut that's missing? Ah, the nut's gone. Well, that's cool. All right, these are metric. Okay, never mind, they're welded in. Just kidding. The fab work is nice. For some reason, this one is just not correct. Not sure what's going on with that. Here's another one. And the last one is right there. This is actually a nice package the way it's set up here. There you go. All right, so if this thing works like I expect, we're just going to lift up the whole thing right now. Okay, that's actually just totally separate. Okay, so we did figure out that we need to remove these couplers to get enough room to get the air to water intercooler off. And there's not a lot of clearance to get your cordless impact in here, so we have to do this one the old fashioned way. All right, we'll go ahead and pop this one off carefully. I say that, but it's not coming off very easily. There we go. One coupler down, we'll have to label all those, make sure they go on the right way. And now for this one that has the dry sump dipstick behind it. That's better. Okay. Comes right off now. Putting this back together is gonna be absolutely killer. So now we're gonna very carefully, oh, I do need to pop off the diverter valves here. I thought I had those loose enough. Oh, you know, I was gonna try to take the diverter valves with it, but I don't know, maybe we should just pull them. But now I think everything's off except for this sensor right here. We're gonna pull that once it's out. So, hey, comes out much easier. Oh, there's so much coolant in there. All right,
Oil covered.
it's finally out. Now let's drain this thing down. I don't know how much water's in here, but apparently it's a lot. Yeah. We're not gonna recover any of this. I'm just going to replace it all. A lot of money in water wetter, that's for sure. This is gonna be an expensive refill. So if you can see this, one nice thing is the intercooler looks brand new inside. Perfect. And we did get this sensor off. And now we can pull off the plate that supports the air to water intercooler, and look at that. There is so much we can see. It's so much easier to work on now.
Just need to take that and engrave Watch There Go.
Yeah, it needs a Watch There Go logo. Intercooler's off, plate's off. And now we're gonna pull the vacuum supply line to the wastegate here. And this should let us get just about everything out of there at once. And of course, the hose ripped in half. That's okay. We'll just throw some new vacuum line in there. Not a bad place for it to tear. And this comes all the way out. There's our vacuum line. Pop the diverter valves here. There's one. I already loosened those clamps. There's the other one. I'll probably label those actually. Be nice to know passenger and driver. And then we can pull these two bolts right here, which are 8s, I think. Take the entire exhaust off at once and get the wastegates.
Those are
exhaust.
Those are the star ones.
Yeah, but they're also 8. This is gonna take a while. I should probably get my air ratchet on this because we have to back it all the way off to get another V-band clamp off. We'll knock her loose. We'll just spray it all over the threads on that clamp and on the spring and also on this one. For some terrible reason, this wastegate coolant line runs around one of the transmission or diff cooler lines here. So I'm gonna have to pop it off, and then I want it all hooked back up, so I'm gonna bring it over and hook it back up. We can break the actual coolant line down here at the bottom where I want it to come apart. There we go. The coolant drain we've been waiting for all this time. It's below the car. It's gonna drain the whole tank down, I think. That's gonna be nice. We sprayed more rust penetrant on this one and we were still stuck. We were like, oh, let's just hold this with our Knipex pliers and we'll just grab a bigger ratchet and get the other end off. Bolt snapped immediately. So that V-band clamp is going in the trash. It's like completely rusted on the flange too. So there we go. Take this clamp off here. Of course, I immediately cut the gloves. Wow. All that oil. Where'd my other rag go? There's so much oil in the exhaust. All right. And then over here, everything's loose and this should fall right out. Perfect, perfect. So we got a little coolant in that clamp. The clamp is of course trash now. You lose some things while you're doing this. Diverter valves, wastegates, exhaust, one piece. Here we go. Diverter valves hanging. So we're gonna leave that just like that with the coolant crossover connected so that we don't have to worry about how it hooks back up. That is a lot of oil. You know what, we need to drain this side down. Yeah. I forgot. Grab an oil pan, actually.
Or just walk over here and pour it in there.
All right. We're gonna try to dump this exhaust out here. The wastegate and the exhaust have to drain. Woo-wee! Look at all that room for activities. Gotta add a new Audi OEM V-band clamp to the order list here.
My fault.
That happens. Those clamps get broken, and we're gonna take this clamp, put it back on the driver's side exhaust after I get all the oil out of it. I just want to do this for fun. While we were working today, we needed to get the belly pan off, which is mostly T30s from what I can see. So I'm gonna jump under here, rip out all the belly pan bolts. Then you wanna take out the center strip last. The center strip aligns all the other bolts and lets you put it all together real fast with just 2 bolts. So I'm gonna pull all the outer ones and then I'll pull the center strip and we will be done.
Get low here with you.
Get low. This will make everything else accessible, which is gonna rock. Okay, now I have to get back up there into the middle, pull that bolt and this bolt, and it's done. Wow, this thing's like spring loaded. Okay. Oh!
Gotcha.
Thank you. Sweet. Check that out, the whole transmission.
Yeah, there's a wrench in there too.
Man, it must be what is there?
Yeah.
Where?
In the tray.
Oh, it just fell in. Okay, all right. That's cool. But that's kind of cool. The starter's real easy to work on.
Oh yeah.
Not bad. If you ever lose the starter on your R8, it's like a 12-minute job. Literally just lift it up, pull one tray, and you're good. You don't even have to take the bumper off to do it. The turbo oil supply uses a nitrous jet. There's a NOS logo right there, and a 020 right there for the size. So we're gonna take these jets, wrap them up in tape to protect them, and then either put them with the lines or set them aside so that we don't lose those very important pieces. We ended up getting all the underbody trays off. We got the car off the quick jacks and on the jack stands, onto the frame. We can get to the bolts to unbolt the engine itself. We are getting every day closer to getting this engine out. Still looking for an engine every day, and I'm gonna actually head inside and search for an engine right now. Look at all the access we have. Sway bar needs to come out, this bar needs to come out, and then it's time to keep labeling some things. I'm also pumped we got the wastegates and the rest of the exhaust off. Progress was made. So, that is it for today, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time.